I'm working out into the soils and concrete lab. I'll be going out probably break a few cylinders. This is our soil side of the laboratory. To our left is the concrete. To our right is where we do most of our soil work in here. We bring the samples in, log them in. As you see, we have a series of different projects, and keep them by job number for that. One for borings, one for test pits, one for just soil samples for roadway collected by bulk sample. These are sample splitters. We'll get our sample into the top, we'll split down, and then we reduce the sample down to that portion that we use for doing our testing. This is actually a sift shaker. This is for larger samples. We do this a lot of the asphalt work that we've done, where we've gotten the actual bitumen is taken out of the material by burning it. We've washed the sample, we've warmed it, cooked it, and then we treat that. Here is where we do our classifications. These are called liquid limit devices. Plastic limit devices where we'll take a sample and we'll prepare it, and then once we take a sample, it gets prepared and we lid it, and we actually screen it, add water to it, and then we take this sample and then we turn around and find out at which portion that it can easily be rolled. Clays roll easier than sand. Keep rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling like that. And as long as it can keep rolling like this, it's almost like Play-Doh. You break it up, you knead it just like you're doing dough. You get it drier and drier, and you keep doing that until it stops being allowed to that point. And at that point where you can no longer thread it into a thin roll, then it becomes have moisture content where it cannot hold its shape. That's called the plastic limit. So that's what you're doing is this way. And then this is an oven that we use. We have soil samples in here that we've already done, where we actually take and do washes. This is a bankroom gravel sample that we're using to find out the sand, gravel, clay content. Take the sample, put it in here, make a moving tool, where soil begins to flow. You've seen where you've had sinkholes and roads and whatnot, or what happens sometimes, pipes develop a crack or move, or there's a joint, something wrong with it. Where the soil around it, if it's clay content, it will reach what's called a liquid limit. And that particular liquid limit is where it starts to become fluid and starts to flow. So this is one test that was developed that we have, what's called the liquid limit test.